Is this working?
Yeah, that works. There you go.
I'm not sure what's going on here. It's not recognizing any of my microphones or anything. I called it. Yeah, I can hear you. It's working fine. I think. I think it's something going on with John's end that's not working.
Okay. I was like, man, what happened? What's going on with the speakers again here?
Yeah. I like a Windows update or something. It screwed my stuff up. So I'm just gonna use my phone.
No worries. 1 second. Let me just finish this real quick. How you been, Jeff?
Good, man. How about you? How's life? How's work?
It's fucking slammed right now.
Hey, it could be worse, right? Not
Yeah.
a bad problem to have.
It's not, but it's like, too many roles. Like you always try to go against that, right? And not take on too many that you can't handle.
Yeah.
But it's like in this market, it's like, all right, well, you want to take it on, and then it's just that game.
Of course.
I think that's one of the hardest parts about what we do is balancing the desk, right?
It is, yeah. Especially trying to figure out capacity because I know you have a little bit of a larger team than I do. So figuring out what that can look like, can be tough sometimes.
Yeah. How is it going for you right now?
Pretty good. I can't complain. Looking to get a few contracts back this week. Hopefully, we'll see what's going on here, and kind of like you said, gonna play that volume game here. See what I can afford to bring on and what I can't.
Yeah. For me, what I've been doing right now is I've been throwing out crazy retainers, like stupid.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hoping that they'll say no. And like this one, I just said to this guy, I go $20,000 a month, non-refundable. Bill goes towards no placements at all.
Yeah.
And of course he said, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's how. I guess at that point it's time to bite the bullet, right?
Yeah. The problem is like I have too many for this one. They kind of want people on site, right?
Yeah.
It's here in Metro Detroit, so it's good because I know a lot of people here. But the problem is we have the clients in the area. So it's like, who am I going to pull from? Because that's like the aerotex, but those guys don't care. Like they're from I don't operate that way, so
Yeah, it's a tricky spot to be in for sure.
But yeah, like, imagine like or the big Robert have, you know, like, what you think those guys don't have everyone locked down in one area?
Yeah.
Working with Ernie, and they're just not. I'll submit 6 or 7 candidates. It's like just not. So it's one of those things that just going back to the drawing board. It's just like going back to it
once.
Yeah, well, I think he submitted. I think he submitted like 3 or 4 for an open role that we had. I usually do the one and see what the feedback is on the one, and then do it again. But it was just like we have like 5 people that we work with, right?
Yeah.
On the next level. So it's one of those things. But all in all, I mean, we're just like I said, I'm anxious as all hell right now.
Yeah,
with what's going on.
I'm always curious to hear about other industries too. Like, are you guys getting feedback right away? Is it slow? Like, our space, like for the other roles outside of sales,
Yeah.
Like we just like, hold on. So we're for sales, they're moving. Like we just filled up market.
Yeah.
We don't do marketing much. We just filled up. And they said, uh, we're going to start them in July 20, July 28. Actually, Danielle, that one, you're Danielle, fine. So July 28th is when I want to start. I'm like, you're lucky this is a sale because that person would not be around by July.
Yeah.
Greg, what up, man?
How are you?
Oh, I'm just laughing at what you're doing with. I don't even want to say, but I love what you're doing. And like, yeah, seeing stuff. I don't know what the little guy over there, you know,
Yeah. Uh, we're, we're building a series architecture. So
that is
yeah, well, it's it's fun, um, and it's just the beginning, right? We gotta kind of band together and be the so let's band from so I don't yeah,
Sam Pungal.
it was so they were talking about basically databases and how to become great and wage and stuff. They talked about obviously AI and a lot of the different things that it's going to be able to do and how that architecture. I've been saying it's true. All these tools are all components. Like it'd be nice to have a centralized component where they're all built into one. And I think that's where the future is going to be. Is essentially it could be out of that is tool things we did as groups. So I was advised that.
it is just I'm someone just how these guys think it operate, like Charlie Munger, Sam Walton, Jeff Bezos, like just the way they think they operate. Just to me, it's just incredible. I love living in like with a lot of obviously
what really showing either way. Not everything it's especially in this game. And the focus really hard is all things we posting is that can really when all that right. We're reporting I'm and doing as next number for of the onboarding training. I'll show them our methodology so that they're able to do it, and that'll kind of alleviate that from my plate, which would be good. And once that's done, slowly but surely, I'm going to offload my accounts to my reps and get away from recruiting altogether so that I can become essentially a recruitment engineer. So I can go deep into AI and the architectures, so that I can really reshape recruitment the way it's done here. So to be able to get to that point, I got to be able to make sure that all these accounts are properly offloaded, the relationships are placed with the right people, the quality is still going to be there because I'm fastidious about quality. So that was a concept that I got from that book, because I was thinking to myself, okay, Greg, you're doing everything. You can't do everything. So, how are you going to, what are you going to offload? So, I'd give that to you all as a challenge, just as a, Cole's notes of that book. I mean, you can listen to it. It's great. It's by Dan Sullivan. But you can, just in what you're doing now, like even today, look at what you've done today and look at what you're going to do for the rest of the week. And think to yourself while you're doing that task, is this a task that I should even be doing? And does this fall within the 80% or the 20%? And if you write it down on the side of the 80%, doesn't mean you're going to offload it right away. I mean, you've got to do this strategically, right? You've got to be able to offload these tasks correctly so that they still maintain the same high caliber that you're accustomed to. And slowly but surely, quarterly, try to offload those tasks on team members so that you can free yourself up to level up and do the homework. Because really, like, you're back to baby steps. Like now, as an engineer, I'm right back to day one in recruiting. Because I'm a novice. Now I got my training wheels back on, right? And now I got to learn and devote myself, make the mistakes, so that I can then grow in that area, right? Because you're starting from scratch again, which is a scary thing. So that's where I'm at in my life. So I mean, in terms of the architecture, I mean, I don't mind sharing the actual architecture itself. So I'll show you what we're doing here, so you can see it.
This is incredible, guys, what he's doing.
Let's just pull up this screen here. So I'll go into NADN. And so one of the things that we're doing here is I was thinking to myself, one of the things that I've always looked for in our business, at least, and I'm sure this is true for you, I always wish that there was a system to be able to get all the leads centralized into one place and delivered to the correct account associates on my team. And I've heard of companies like Agency Leads. So this is a product that I've heard of that apparently is very good, but it's pricey, man. Like it's not,
Greg.
It's not?
No.
I thought it was. I thought it was like $500 a month.
Well, no, it's not. Well, it's not good. I did that. Well, maybe it is now. 3 years ago, I spoke to them. But there's another one that just came out today that I met with the founders today. It's called Recruit Ramp. And I don't think they're there yet. I told them, I go.
Yeah, not quite there yet, eh? So I mean, but again, the thing is, like, when we go and we purchase these products as recruiters, as agency managers, we are now tethered to them. And you know how pricing goes, right? Pricing, it starts at one place and you can count on at least a 6 to 7% increase on a yearly basis. And that's just par for the course, right? So you're going to have this expenditure that's going to keep going in perpetuity. So what I was thinking is, let's build it in-house. So that's what we've done is, we've built basically an architecture that is going to scrape leads. And of course, the trigger is going to be, whenever there's for us, it's a bilingual requisition. Those leads are going to get scraped, and they're going to come from Monster, Indeed, LinkedIn, etc. They're going to go through an Airtable database where we've got all of our clients segmented, as well as the account owner and their ID for Slack. And then basically goes into the Bullhorn CRM for validation to see, because the Bullhorn's our CRM, to see if we have that lead or not, so it can dedupe it. It's going to check for bilingualism, because there's a lot of tricky things around making sure that it truly is a rec that we need. It does the research on the person, and then it'll basically spit out that lead directly to the correct associate within Slack. So essentially, my associates will get a set of messages saying, okay, Greg, your client BD is looking for a bilingual associate. Here's the contact that you have within your database. And then from there, I'm going to introduce a human in the loop. So I've hired a business development associate, really a researcher, who's going to take a look at that need to cross-reference the correct data to see if the person that we have is valid. If not, they're going to actually, for now, go into Apollo to see who we can get to then get their numbers so we can contact new parties. Eventually, I'm going to automate that too, but for now, that's where I'm at.
And I would say I'm right along with Greg, except I already knew Greg was doing that, so I got other workflows I'm working on right now. It's like one for me is MPCs that come in that are referred to me. These are high level people. They can't just be blasted out, right? So I think let me share my screen. So this is all going to be done. This is all going to be done inside of N8N, but this is just the prompt, and I shared this yesterday on LinkedIn. So what this does is I'll copy and paste the link. I'll show you a candidate, but what it does is it tracks, organizes it, extracts all the metadata, and then tags them down for the industry vertical specialty in my niche. Organizes by time, date. I put them in there. They're hot MPC, and then it folders and tags them to my niche roles right here, right? Like geography, where they're at. And this is all going to be eventually spit out to Clay with N8N agents working alongside of it. And then it scores, builds a live, builds an MPC card. I think some of you have probably seen some of my posts on it. But I'll show you an example of what that looks like for this guy. So I will just copy and paste his LinkedIn profile in here in my GPT project. From here, it will spit out a nice little card for me like this. Target roles that they're looking for, summary and notes on them, and then tags them for me. Then from there, and this is all going to be automated. This is just manual tasks that I'm doing right now. So just think about in the future how fast I'll be able to operate and move. Then I'll take my call transcript with the candidate and just copy and paste it in here. And anything I miss, and then it'll give me a nice little quick recap. Okay, he's looking for 250K Canadian, 20% bonus, blah, blah, blah. Then I'll take that MPC card that you saw up here. I'll just copy and paste this right here, right into Perplexity, which you're not going to need to do this because Clay can do all this. So I highly suggest a lot of you learn Clay. And then it will spit out this, right? Here's an open jobs that he's a current fit for right now that are open. And these are all my ICPs right here. Like 3 of these are clients. So like client, client, client. So I can't send them to those. Well, I can if they have that role open. And then what we'll do here is I'll keep this chain going, right? And then every time a role opens up for a different, so here's my MPC card. Obviously, I don't want to put his name on there. I want to throw it on LinkedIn. So then it will spit out another one. And I'll obviously pick out the emojis now. But then what I really like about this is it'll give you like a nice email to send out. But here's the big piece too. If I want them to be specific for a client, let's say DePasco, they have a role open. All right, why is he a perfect fit for DePasco? So then I'll send this bullet point summary to the leaders there at that company. And again, this is all going to be automated, so I won't have to do this, as my prompts. And I have the same thing for personal finances, AI productivity tools, business development. You are my business development assistant, blah, blah, blah. It will set it all up for me, and I'll just keep each conversation and any transcript of the call in the chain, and it will. You'd be surprised at how amazing some of the stuff it comes up with. That I would think about, but it's like, how do I put it all together quick? And ChatGPT is just, if you use it right, it's amazing, right? And then like here's cadence it's suggested for this one. But I always throw in a call, like these two are going out, and that's why LinkedIn content's also very important, because by the time they you're sending out an email and a LinkedIn message, and they're going to come look at your profile, right? I've already seen it with a few that I sent. They immediately look at my profile before they even respond. So having the right content out there is key. But I'll even use this as my CFO for my internal here, right? So like I've even done some work for some CFOs. I'm like, give me something that you need done, right? I'll show you here's how to do it. Just show me my cash flow, target rate, burn rate, this debt payoff, anything that credit cards, what credit card to use for certain things to get the best points that month, whatever it may be. I mean, I use the Amex Platinum. That one's great for a lot of things, but it's just great. Like I'll literally take the PDF statements and I'll throw them in here too, and it will just boom, 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 spit out everything I need to do. So this has been amazing for me. I even do it for my personal one. Oh, here's another one that I've been using it for too. This is amazing. Business card database. Like anytime I go to a conference or anything, right? Here's my instructions for that. It will just break it down for me. And again, this is all going to be automated right now. These are just manual tasks, and I'm just thinking like, what can I do? But like, here's from the Automate conference, right? So I'll take a picture of a card, and then it will just nicely break it down for me. Now I'll go throw that into Google Sheets or my ETS. These are just some little ways that I'm using it right now, ChatGPT.
So Dom, on each folder, do you update your instructions for that one folder?
I always keep, so like, let's go candidates MPC, right?
Yeah.
I'll keep one chain on each person and then just keep it rolling. This one I don't know why I have two because I accidentally put them in the business development one. And I'll just keep it rolling. Then I have my own LinkedIn content, right? These are my own GPTs. Write me a post about hiring sales. That fast. There's your content, right? And you'll be surprised how good. And this is why I highly suggest paying for it. It gets to know you, and the more and more you type in here and talk to it, it's amazing what it does. Then here's one for like candidates. I know people are charging for this, but I'll just go on here and throw their profile in, and it'll spit out like let's just do Tim, right? Tim, you're the first one that popped up. Where you at? So I'll take this, just copy and paste it. Copy, paste right over to here. I'll also put the URL in just in case.
I never thought about their URL. Yeah.
And then
When I put the URL, it says it doesn't take it. Maybe I'll do it wrong. It's awesome.
then I'll literally just send this to people for free. They're like, wow, thank you, Dom. So I'm like, listen, you're playing the ETS game. Think about the easy apply buttons, right? Boom. You got to pass through the system. So then if I have the resume too, then I'll throw the resume in here and then it'll spit out I'll attach the resume. So I'll do this first. I'll copy and paste it and then I'll throw in the resume and then say, now update it. So especially salespeople will get the key numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell them like take out emojis if you can.
Yeah. Why is that default always with emojis with ChatGPT? I don't get it at all.
You can set that. Like I can go in here.
Set under settings and say don't include
yeah,
emojis.
my GPTs, and you could say edit, configure, and then you can go in here and say don't use emojis.
So you have to command it in each one. Yeah.
Use ever. So I go ahead and create and configure these. These are completely different than these projects down here. Like these, and then you could take these, like they end up just coming down here, right? And what you're doing, and you can go and move it. thought you could, but
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's cool. It's real cool. And then on this one is really cool. So what I'll do is I'll just keep track of like all these newsletters I get in AI, right? And I'll keep track of the tools that are coming out. So I'm like, basically, here's my prompt for that one. And then what it will do here is I'll just throw in, like, for example, this, right? I'll just throw in the URL and it'll give me this. And then I'll go in here sometimes and ask, like, here's what I'm trying to do. What are the best tools that I, inputted that you can tell me to use right now? And every time I hear a new one, I'll go in here.
I need to dive back in the settings. I'm like a messy digital right now. I gotta clean it up.
Yeah, just
On
keep
your
it nice and organized.
On your projects, do you actually utilize the project files, like add intelligence into your
In
project?
these,
Yeah,
I haven't
I
had
added
to yet.
one time. I added like 15 different files in there. It was really cool. It's actually my personal accountability tracker. Like, I was just pulling that in, and it's actually pretty sweet because the draws from it.
I actually just made this just now for like so kind of like I was showing you guys how the MPC workflow for ChatGPT. So they'll be able to go in here, apply to our MPC program. They'll fill out this type form, and then what kind of, Greg, are you still on?
Yeah.
What Greg was showing you guys, this will automatically trigger them to go into that N8N workflow, and I won't have to do anything from there. And then it will trigger LinkedIn outreach. It will trigger email campaigns automatically, and it will alert me or my team, hey, reach out to this company for this candidate who's already now in, that outreach campaign is launched. So we still obviously want to make calls. We're not going to just sit there and rely on LinkedIn and email, right? We still want to hit them with a call. But this, as soon as they put their URL in here, done. My N8N agent will run it from there.
And can it distinguish between clients that you already have done business with versus new clients that may not be in your database?
Yeah, we can put the guardrails in that N8N agent. So say, hey, basically, here's our database current client list, and I can just go and copy and paste all of them in there and say, if they're at one of these companies, we can't really work with them unless they already left. But that's based on our agreement. But yeah, you know that we can set up any guardrails we want on any agent. Now there's still going to be it's still early for a lot of stuff that we're doing, right, Greg? So there's still going to be some AI hallucinations. I'm sure you've heard about this a few times already.
Yep.
So that's why the human in the loop is still going to be key for a lot of areas until it gets better, but it's getting better and better and better. And this is where a lot of recruiters are going to lose their jobs, because it's going to be like guys like me or Greg that are, whoever is optimizing AI to use with their workflow daily. You're going to be able to crush a team of 10, no problem.
So here's what I imagine, Dom. This was something that I was thinking about. I think we're going to be able to get it to a point where we can take all of our data. I'm talking about everything, all the calls, all the AI note takers, everything it knows about us. And of course, if you have podcasts or anything that you're posting online, and feed that into a system where now when you're going to go market to an employer, you can actually create a hyper customized singular website about your potential partnership with that particular employer that is devoted to them and them alone, and showing the deliverables and all of the wins that you've had with direct competitors out of that agency or with your agency, and customizing that to them, and having that be an automatic workflow where now the website is generated and that hyperlink is what's sent to them. And the cold call would sound something like this. Dom, I've sent you something. I think you should take a look. Get back to me. Greg. Nice and easy.
I fucking love the way
and they're going to be like, what who the fuck is this guy, right? And then they're going to click on the link, and they're going to see a customized website that is going to show how Lazio Search Group can help XYZ logistics, and the data that is preset around that. And they're going to see the solutions and who you've placed in this particular niche and say, holy shit, I've never seen anything like this, right? And it's hyper customized based on all of the data that we've acquired. I think that's what's going to be the next step in business development. We're going to be able to win business like this.
So I love that you said that, and that's something I already thought about. And on top of that, adding in a YouTube link there with your recommendations or referrals from clients that say, hey, or candidates too, that you can have both on there. Here's similar companies I work with in this space. Here's a referral from a client in this space. Here's a referral from recent candidates that we just placed, all into that website. That is what I'm working on right now. It's like almost like hockey cards. And then here's your stats on the back, and it will flip over in, like, you click on the one side of it, it'll flip. Here's their stats, and then here's some reviews from the client. I love how you're thinking, Greg, because that's right where I'm.
And anything is possible now. Anything is possible. That's why we've got to get good at automation and understanding how to create these things. And again, not getting lost in the weeds, because there's so much, and the tools are going to go like this in the next 6 months, guys. Just every 2 weeks there's a new model coming out within GPT, within Claude, within Perplexity. They're firing off new models. I'm sure you guys saw the new presentation from Gemini from Google. It's insane, right? So the tools are going to go like this. Let's not get lost in the weeds. Let's just stay hyper focused on the customer, and that's always been what I've done. I thought, if I was the client, what would I want to see? What would impress me? And how could I inspire confidence in that person? And data can help.
Yes. And what you just said, listen to that founder's podcast with what Charlie Munger says there. He goes, stop multitasking, focus on what you do best, right? And just keep compounding. I think that podcast will help a lot of us. It helped me, because it's like, man, I got my head all over the place trying to chase all these tools and this and that. And, I want to stay ahead of the game. Absolutely I am. But like, there's certain things that I can delegate off. Like, do I need to learn how to do this? Okay, it's probably better for me to just pay, at least understand the basics, and then pay somebody to, hey, go build out that clay table for me, because I don't have time. Why am I going to build that out myself? Or the NA agents. It's good to know. That way if you can learn how to build an NA agent, so it's going to save you a lot of time and money, because I'm telling you, a lot of these tools are going to end up becoming super expensive down the road, because they're going to be like, wait a second, there's too many people making a lot of money now off of our tools. Not $20 a month now goes to $10,000 a month. Like, I think that's going to happen here pretty soon. And this is not me saying it. Listen to Sam Altman. Sam Altman said the other day, you're going to see billion-dollar companies with 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 people.
Yep.
Multi-billion-dollar companies, right? So, and a lot of them too, it's like, these are going to be agents as the CFO, CEO talking to each other, and paying for tools in crypto. So that's another reason why I'm heavy in crypto, buying crypto too.
Can I show you a little grading system that I built for my team?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you this. Some of you, I think, Tim, you mentioned Quill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on Quill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim has been working with them from day one.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
So I created a prompt that is working quite nicely. So let me show you. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so here are all the call types that I've got set up, right? And specifically in this one, in the MC cold call. So this is an MC contact, so marketing call, contact, cold call. I've included a beautiful script with pattern interrupt. So this is a true cold call, like, hey, can you hear me okay? Right? Things like that, things that grab their attention.
Mm-hmm.
The one-liners, all the rebuttals, discovery questions, everything they may need, including booking a meeting. But what I did in the afterward is I generated a score. So now my team's calls are going to be scored, in this case out of 18. Mm-hmm. So each one of these is going to give me basically all the information as well as the things to improve. So it's almost like a built-in quality control machine that is, we're just going to be able to go into the notes, see how these calls are doing, listen to them, of course, but at the same time be able to look at the score. And so I'm adopting this across all of our note types, which is going to help, again, any recruitment manager be able to manage people better.
How is Quill gonna score? So Quill is gonna score that based on the transcript, or
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah. Yeah, it listens to it. It does all of the scoring. Even like I'll show you this. Like the intake call is beautiful because in the intake call, where is it again? Hold on. Candidate prep, MS Teams.
you're so organized, Greg.
Yeah, but I can't find it now. Where's my intake call?
Yeah, he's got a couple more meeting types than I have.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love it. You know why? It's because you're probably listening to some DJ music on the background, and it's just like, boom, boom, boom. Before you know it, you got 300 of them. Now you're like, which can I eliminate?
yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
I'll show
That
you
is awesome.
I'll show you an intake call that I did today. Like, I mean, this was really cool. So, I did an intake call with these folks,
Yeah.
and I got all the details of the job. But the key here is
What's your ATS? Sorry,
Bullhorn. So it's all
Bullhorn.
it's all connected to Bullhorn. But like now, I literally have the entire job rec written up in the format that we like. In our agency, as well as the Boolean string that is created in the corporation's DNA and the entire process. So when, like, it used to take me a half hour to write these things up. Now Quill just does it, and it's beautiful. Like, and I know exactly what I'm
right
looking
from
for.
the call, Greg.
Yeah, right from the call.
Yeah. So the benefit about Quill and some of these others is you can actually write a ChatGPT. Actually, I think it's Gemini, isn't it? Prompt. I think it's Gemini prompt. But the idea is it's using AI. You create your own, and it'll actually take that recording and it'll fit to the mold. And that's what the templates are all about. So the meeting types, that's what's really cool about it. This is where I'm trying to see if that N8, N8N, I was just learning that. That's the first thing I've seen that today. I've seen it on like, Dom, you showed some of that automation and stuff like that. I didn't know what platform it was. But this would be really cool to be able to automate some of that stuff. Like when it's created, the message is created, maybe you can get it into automation. What I love about Quill, and I'll say that a lot of these companies that we work with, you work with people you get along with, that's responsive, that will help you out, that will get on a call with you and say, yeah, let's see what we can do to make it work. Good example, if you're on a couple different ATS systems right now, I'm using the top echelon network, right? Because that's it's a shared open positions, right? So basically how I'm doing it is if we have an open position, I'm using Loxo as my primary, right? I'm trying to fill that, but let's say he's not right fit. Part of my workflow, my last piece of my workflow is MPC. So like, you have like, you're sourcing all these people, you have a great conversation with someone, it's not right fit for the role, I put them into NPC category. So I look at the MPC and then I'll go to the network to see if there's any opportunities for this person in the network. So the cool thing is I could literally have a conversation, utilize Quill with TE Recruiter Big Biller and the network, and it'll put the notes directly in there. And what's cool is when I submit someone on the network, those notes stick with it. So that you could actually share that with the other recruiter. So depending on how it comes out and internalizes. So what's going back to it, Quill is a multi-level ATS platform that you're using a Google Chrome extension. And if you pull up Loxo, it'll pull the number and you can make a quick phone call with that. And if you're in TE Recruit, you could actually click on Dom and TE Recruit and it'll pull up your phone number. I'll just hit the Quill extension. It'll pull it up and you can go ahead and do whatever template you want within that created. If I'm in Jobin, Jobin's going to start getting it too, which is kind of nice because Jobin has that first connection request in bulk, which that's what I like. There's other platforms that do it. I just got used to Jobin. It's fairly reasonable priced to be able to do like bulk first in sequences. And all I use is that first connection request, like 50 people that fit the mold. I want to send out a connection request. If they accept it, then I'll be able to make a call and put notes automated in that too as well. So technically it's 3 different ATS systems right now, but they're all have different purposes, because if it takes it to the next level in Jobin, I bring in a Loxo. That's my main database that I'm utilizing right now. I don't know, Bullhorn probably works a lot better than Loxo, but I know Loxo.
No, it doesn't.
It's still a pain in the ass.
They all are. That's why I keep saying, like, we as recruiters, we all like Taylor, how many times have I said that we're all waiting for these people like Silo Ventures to join them. It's recruiters from like Uber and Netflix, but let me tell you something. The recruiters like in here, like I guarantee you, we know and we're way more resourceful than these people that are coming from that. access to any tool they want, right? But they don't know how to use a lot of tools that we can get away with for way cheaper. And I mean, let me show you guys.
Actually,
this real quick.
that's something that they mentioned in today's podcast. It was exactly that. So what they're saying is in the tech space, the technology companies create tools, and maybe 2 to 3 years later, really start talking to their customers about what they need.
Yeah,
And
it's like
and
we should
and it's
just
like,
build one ourselves.
but the thing is, that's a whole other. It's taking us away from everything we're doing, right?
I know. This is this is what they want me to join, and essentially you're partnering with 250 other recruiters. I'm like, I could do that with, you know, 25 to 50K investment, and then
Yeah.
they'll get you the VC money and all that. It's like I already had people that would back me if I got a tool ready to go.
You know, the perfect, in my mind, the perfect tool would be one that could just follow us on the phone, listen to what, in the case of an intake call, listen to what the client is saying, understand, and be able to search not only your own database, but to source immediately based on the
Yes.
qualifications that you're looking for, and provide a short list within seconds. That would be optimal, right?
Yes.
And not just looking at skill sets on a CV, but actually listening to and reading the notes. You know, if somebody said in a call, you know, oh, I'd love to, you know, I'd love to join. However, you know, I'm 6 months pregnant. Let's just say that was the case, and I'm not going to make a change right now. I'm going to stay where I am. Well, to be able to understand that, to say, okay, the person is obviously not looking for work at this point, right? And be able to pass on that profile, and then, you know, come up with people that would be a true ATS that understands, not just looks at keywords, but understands what it is that we're looking for, and at the same time cross-references the data that we have, be able to come up with those people. Understands that if the job is remote, this could be wide open, but if it is local to, say, the DC area, then it's got to be a DC search in commutable distance, right? So
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where I want to ask you guys just an open question on that, because ATS is just like a lot of these ATS systems or CRMs in all reality, right? And they always say that they're always trying to bring AI into it, you know, like Loxo's trying to do this AI automation. I don't want them to create it for me. I want my own prompts in there because I don't want to deal with it, right? So when you have them create it, it's like, it's just, oh my God, they wanted 3 paragraphs for an email campaign, and they wanted it 9 messages going out, you know. And I don't know about you guys, but like if I'm looking for a specific role, it's short, simple, sweet. I'm going to hit you out 2 or 3 times and that's it. I'm not going to go this whole lengthy thing. If it's business development, maybe that's a different scenario. But they have it with, you know, they have something called a workflow, but it's a job order workflow. They don't have a project workflow. You know, you should be able to create something called project, and you'd be able to do whether a business development workflow or, you know, or a job order workflow. You know, whatever workflow you want to use it, because it's all about the contacts. It's not about, in a way, a company or anything like that. It's all about that contacts. But I wanted to throw it out to you because I feel like Bullhorn, Loxo, it's like they're not really, they're a system, but it's almost like they're CRMs in a way. The only difference is the fact that they say they call it a workflow. Well, you know what? A CRM calls it a sales process. What's the difference really at the end of the day? At the end of the day, right? You're either trying to, the sales process is a job order, right? Period. You got a job order, you're trying to find the best product to put, you know, to fulfill, right? So you're going to walk through all these different stages. But what frustrates me more than anything is it's almost a CRM and ATS just overlap. You know, they always say, oh, well, you got this AI source and it'll source candidates towards the job description. I said, that's great, but it's not like a lot of the stuff I see, even in Loxo source, it's not accurate. It's like, why am I looking at an electrical engineer when he's not even an engineer? I'm looking for someone that's a CFO. Why the hell did he pop up on here? And there's no background at all. And he's like, readiness score is like right there. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know. You know, so there's like bugs and hiccups. It's like the level of accuracy, I don't see it there. But I do see, you know, if you're just like me, if you never really looked for a CFO and you just want to shotgun it out, that might work out great, you know. But it just, they're not grasping it. The only difference is they're saying, oh, well, you could post jobs. Well, who gives a crap about posting a job at the end of the day? We're going after people that are, you know, are not looking at this point. We're going after superstars that are crushing it in their role today, right? We're not looking at someone that says, I'm open to work. I hate to say it. I want to help everybody that is open to work. But at the same time, I'm looking at these people that just crushed it in these companies today, you know, that are just good. They're going to be the next VP of engineering. And I'm looking for a quality engineer, you know, like they just got the mindset. They're driven, kind of like the sales side of it, right? You want someone in a business club. It's like, how many sales reps that are killing it out there? Look at their resume on LinkedIn, and it's like, do they put it on there, or they just leave it stagnant because it's not important? And it's like, it's frustrating because it's like, you know, they're a superstar. First thing I tell them, like, you know, what'd you do? Did you crush your quota? Oh yeah, I mean, I doubled my quota last year. Why is it not on your LinkedIn profile? You're in sales.
Yeah,
you know?
some of them don't want. Some of them don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
Like out here, let me like real quick. If you don't want to learn N8N and you want, I did a demo with these guys in the CRO the other day.
Yeah.
N8N, and you want to make it easier. This is like a dumbing down process. Essentially, what they're just doing is they have clay tables in the background N8N, but they just white label this. So it's pretty cool. But you can do a lot of stuff on here. But going back to what you said, Tim, look at this. Look at this post, this guy. So this is the guy I was working with, right?
Yeah. And you know what
Basically, he's
Go
saying like, he's sad to leave Amazon, blah blah blah. He goes, yes, it's on supply chain. Yes, it's a leadership role. To the link committee, no need to reach out to me about managing my 401k. Please now stop with the messages claiming you've carefully reviewed my profile and found me to be a perfect fit. Top people like this, like we were laughing. I go, you're a legend for this post right here. Like this is awesome. Because you know he is a top dog in Amazon, AWS, right? Like how many people are immediately hitting him up to roll over his 401k, blah blah blah. Just I thought that was funny.
I love it, but you know that's the generic messages that they're taught, right? Like, you know, these big recruiting agencies, they're like, oh, well, say, hey, you like their profile, they'd be a great fit for the role. You know, it's like there's nothing in it that really wants them to give you a phone call or respond. It's just they think they're going to respond to it, you know, because they're going after the masses, but talented people aren't going to jump in on that.
No.
You know, but like going back to the database, you know, databases are dead. Well, it's not dead if you use intelligence behind it to be able to get that, you know, because there's a lot of companies today that'll say, oh, you're looking for mechanical engineers in Iowa, and they'll provide a list of every mechanical engineer that's actively working today in Iowa. Imagine putting that in your database. Now, whether you talk to them or not, but imagine if you're able to use AI to create a tool to be able to source each one of those in your database. Now you have something that you can actually get educated by. Like you talked about, Greg, like having a phone call. If you have a phone call with one of these individuals and it says, hey, I am not actively looking, but if there's an opportunity that does this, this is what I really want to get into. I really want to get into aerospace. Maybe they're an ag, you know, but if it picks it up, now all of a sudden that database is not dead, right? We make calls every day, right? Imagine capturing that data. And that's huge to be able to put that in your database. So I think that there's some nice things can be said about a database. It's all about how you organize it. If your database is stagnant, it's worthless, right? But if you're actually creating it to be live, a living database. Yeah, I talked to, you know, Ernie's a good proponent of. He's like, you know, you could have a database because, you know, I talk to people and, you know, I've had these people in here for like maybe 10 years, you know. There's so many in there that, you know, once it's in there, you don't delete your database, right? But how do you get these people updated? You know, are they still working? Are they still doing what they're doing? You know, is your ATS system updating all their feeds? Like if they have a LinkedIn profile, is it updating? Or
doesn't Loxo say that they do that or no? I thought Loxo told me that they do.
Loxo can do it, but the other thing too is you have to also understand that sometimes they themselves don't update their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you're calling somebody and you think, you know, they're right there. And no, I just left my job 3 months ago.
Well, good example, location. Half of them, I look on them, they say, oh, I'm in LeClaire, Iowa. And I'm like, nope, you're in Davenport. You know what I'm saying? It's like they got like True People Search or whatever you're trying to do, just find some people's names and addresses. And I'm like, nope, they're not there anymore. So it's like probably 50% of the people put down an area that they're at, that they may not even be there, you know? is what I'm finding out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we-
like
I've been
go
able to,
ahead, sorry.
I've been able to clean my database up significantly.
That's awesome.
Because we use, I've got a system that is tethered into Bullhorn. It's called Sense.
Mhm.
It's an automation system that both text messages as well as emails. And so, especially for any candidate that we've placed in the past, we want to make sure we stay on top of that. And so we systematically every 6 months send them a prompt, whether it be through text or email, just to ensure that the data that we have is still accurate, and wishing them well. And we stay in touch with them. As well, I've made little clever things, like for instance, anybody that interviews somebody in my office, they add a follow-up note. And through Sense, what this does is, even if my recruiter is not in touch with them, this message will go and say something like, "Hey Dom, it's been a week since we've met. Just want to let you know I'm still thinking of you. Has anything changed on your end?" Which
Yes.
alleviates one of the greatest concerns of recruitment, which is the recruiter interviewed me and I haven't heard back, right? And that's because we're busy trying to find jobs for this person, haven't necessarily forgotten about them. So that's one thing. The thing that I'm dreaming up, okay, in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. I would love if we could design a system, and this is an idea that I'm currently working on, a system that will continuously, day and night, even while you sleep, cross-reference the name of the candidate, because it already knows who they are on LinkedIn. So we can certify that that person is that LinkedIn URL. And if the resume that we have on file that has been parsed is no longer accurate vis-a-vis what their LinkedIn profile says, not only do we get that CV downloaded, because full well on LinkedIn, you could just go ahead and click to download as PDF. So it can automate that, then upload it and parse it to the system, but then generate a lead to our team to say, hey, there may be a backfill opportunity here, and as well connect with this person to congratulate them on this job so that we can get that data on that backfill, right? So not only would this act as a lead mechanism, but it would also make sure that we have continuous data running through the database in a systematic manner directly from LinkedIn. So that's an idea that I've always had. I mean, it's a combination, database management, and trust me, I've been in the weeds on this for a long time. It's a multifaceted thing, and there's got to be a better way, because the data is out there, and my plight is that we should be able to extract that information, have it into our own databases, so that when our recruiters search the database, they actually get live data, versus how recruiters are. I mean, if they think they're going to a graveyard of old CVs, they're not going to do it, right?
Right.
It's going to be your secondary option. And by the way, that's the number one investment we make as owners is paying for tools, right? So anyway, that's my thought, is if there could be a system that could do that, and if necessary, I'll have to program it myself.
I got it for you, Greg.
Do you?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll connect with me after. I'll send you the video.
Okay. Because that would be interesting, right?
What this guy's doing is, like, Tobias, he's brilliant, right? Like, this guy's like 15x where Tobias is right now. The problem is getting this guy locked down. He is slammed. He started off as a recruiting firm, but now he's like a go-to-market engineer, AI expert who can scrape and hack APIs like you wouldn't believe, and like the waterfall enrichments and getting that data behind. It's insane. I'll send you the video. I literally was on the phone with him for 83 minutes, and I was just sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about? How do I not know this part yet?
But this should be what ATSs are focused on. Like, shouldn't Bullhorn, shouldn't Loxo be doing this to say, hey guys, we know that you have this person. Like, you already have a LinkedIn button, right? So it knows who they are. Like, why don't we refresh that data? And when that person's made a change, or even maybe change themselves to recently open to work, especially on the back end, that would be nice to know, right? So that we can say, hey, one of our candidates is recently open to work, give them a shout, right? And it can systematically tell us who to be in touch with, so that we have high value calls all day long. This is where we belong, is on the phone, not doing this stuff that's not on the phone, which is where we belong, influencing outcomes.
And I think that's where the misguidedness of these ATS systems, you know, are they running a 360 desk? Are they understanding that, you know, follow-up is just as important as the first initial contact, you know, from that standpoint, because that's lifeline of your business. You know, it's like following someone through their whole career, you know, versus this whole process of just the basics. Like it's a CRM, basically what it is. You just put contacts in it. If you don't update it, well, they're not going to be updated. It's so much on you instead of with all this automation. And then they bring AI into it. And they're like, oh, well, you match the right candidate to the job. You're missing the boat again. You know, I get it. I get the idea behind that, but there's so much more that you're just so missing because you're not sitting here in front of a desk, you know, making the phone calls, having the conversations. If they listen to the people, and that's the problem, they don't listen. If they don't have user groups, I mean, God bless America on this, but there's the big companies, Salesforce. Why do they have something called like Dream something or another? That's where all the users go there and express ideas. And then they have an app store, a marketplace that they have people that create apps for them. So they're not even creating these cool things. They're listening to people. They're creating the stuff and they're making money off of it because it's plugged into their system.
Yeah.
They don't even do any implementation of their software. All they do is they have a platform that they listen to the users, and that's where successful companies today do it. You got to get user engagement. Once the users are talking about it, you know, in the CAD world, computer-aided designing, I did a little bit of that, but they used to do user groups, and they'd show them about how to use the software and how to make these designs. And if there's a new structural and thermal analysis tool to it, they would show them how to do it, you know, and with the user group. And they would have lunch and learns and stuff like that, but they were local. But these are users getting together, excited about the product. And I don't see any of those across the board with ATS systems today. And I think
that's that monthly recurring revenue.
That's it.
They don't care about.
And they puff their chest when they come out with something like, "Hey, we're gonna, you know, here's the 97th way Loxo's gonna benefit your organization." I don't really. None of those apply to what I'm doing, you know, in some of that aspect or another. And you know, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Sorry, I'm on my high horse. I'll stop drinking the vodka.
Yeah. Tom, are you
Or
on?
just share it.
Brent, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Not a little bit late today. Yeah, fuck, man. I've just, after seeing that article yesterday by the CEO of Anthropic, where he said entry-level jobs are going to be gone, it's like, okay, how do you stay relevant? And it, you know, I did software engineers for, you know, a dozen years before I started to do, before I started my own gig. And I'm so glad I'm getting out of that because software engineering is, I think, going to be going by the wayside. So many people are just, the companies just aren't hiring like they used to. And, you know, it's like, okay, you better start dealing in like staffing folks for like the trades or things like that, or AI is going to be short. I mean, I'm 55. My wife's 53, and we're like, fuck, could we retire yet? And it's like, nah, not if we want the retirement that we want, but it's just like, get us through the next few years. And, you know, so we can be like, kids, you're fucked. We don't know how to hear, but we're done.
Have any of you guys read the World Economic Forum Jobs Report 2025?
No.
What is it?
Check it out. Check it out when you get time. It's incredible.
Did you see the article I posted from Deloitte today? It's on construction and labor. In 2024, there was over 350,000 job openings every month, all 12 months of the year. And we're still having serious issues with labor. Construction is still very strong. I'm very happy.
Love it.
I think it'll continue because there's a lot of infrastructure that needs it. I mean, gosh, look at just in your own hometown, roads, bridges. I mean, they haven't even updated half the bridges that I see around here that's been around for 100 years. You know, they just keep on throwing concrete and a little sander and a paint and call it done, you know. And those things aren't cheap anymore. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I was looking at recruiter jobs on LinkedIn, and there were 248 internal recruiter jobs on LinkedIn.
Only 248?
And 248 LinkedIn recruiter jobs posted on LinkedIn. by
In the
companies.
U.S.?
Shit, I don't know. I just didn't scope them out. I just hit one of those jobs, and then I just opened it up, and then just went down and kept going and going and going. I thought I was falling into hell. But it just goes to show you that what companies are doing now is they're looking at all costs. So you got to figure out a way to save costs for them. And like I read an article on Hershey, and they were talking about chocolates, and they're petitioning the government to see if they could get an exemption for their chocolates from the tariffs, because all the chocolate, no chocolate can be produced in the United States. So you're going to have tariffs, but people are going to ask for exemptions, and some are going to be getting exemptions, some companies. But it's going to be crazy.
I heard that tariffs were ruled to be illegal today.
Yeah. Yesterday
Well, they can be ruled any way they want, but whether or not they use them or not or whatever.
They were ruled. We'll see if it goes to the next court. But as of right now, all the tariffs basically will be removed. They won't be able to charge them. We'll try, but nobody has to pay them because the court said that they were deemed that the president can't do that. He has to go through Congress if he wants to do that. So as of right, I don't know exactly what will be done, but the tariffs that are still on some of the goods and stuff that was coming out of China. I've seen a lot of bills where guys are getting hit with huge tariffs for, to buy a watch, right, out of China, a replica Rolex for $400, and there's a $200 tariff on it. All that's supposedly going to go away now until they figure out what the next step is in this lawsuit.
Now all these companies that I've been reaching out to, that's their excuse to not work with me. I'm gonna go back and be like, no more tariffs, guys. Let's work together.
Come in my world, it's my chain, but well, come listen to the freaking tariffs. I got a great call I can share with you.
Yeah, man.
But no matter what happens, one sues, the other countersues, the other countersues to the countersue, and it's all held up in courts, and all it takes is a judge to say, I agree with this side, and another judge says, I agree with that side. And then the people in the middle, which are the manufacturers or the companies, will be saying, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then they go to the attorneys, and their attorney says, it depends. So that so,
you guys see this on LinkedIn? Everyone's asking for bonded warehouses. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Bond. So you know what I mean?
or can be released. That- that right?
It's in uh, the zone when Bucks talk about being going there and it's like, what do you want to play with? Also, like, it's free now. Now it's been the whole it's just great.
Yeah,
It depends on the week, I guess. It depends, like, what's the issue better. It's great. Just work.
Rockstar. I took his advice and built this. I still have a lot to fix on it. Where is the?
Madness is insane.
Yeah, it is. Vanus built this for me. And we're going to link the free audit here, the full audit here. We're going to do a content strategy calendar and then a full career strategy package. All this will be redone. All this. So right now, so this is what I'm working on right now. So let me go to this right here. I think we're ready for prime time. So let's run a test. And what basically happens is I added a bunch of stuff to it last time we talked, Dom. So this is, people are going to be able to actually go to the website and paste their LinkedIn profile in here. So if we go to this guy, let's go with this guy. He's Alex, engineer, right? He's open to work. His about is okay, right? So we're going to take his profile and we're going to do this, right? And if this was Alex, right, he take his profile and do this and come to our website, whoops, and paste it here. And then it asks you, do you have any specific skills you want optimized? Or, and that's what we're going to say no. And then with him, what career trajectory, right? There's some ideas. So we're going to say, I'm looking for a structural engineering job in Cincinnati or possibly Europe, period. Make my profile more attractive to recruiters and hiring managers in the structural engineering world. Right, and then we hit this. It says ready to analyze my profile. So now it's going to run the prompt that we made in terms of all against LinkedIn best practices, all the modification things like what makes a good profile, what you should be doing, yada yada yada. Right. So this takes 15, 20, 30 seconds to do the analyzation. And once this is done, you'll see there's two things you can do. You can download the PDF of the information. So it tells us 68% profile strength, headline effectiveness, experience quality, current profile strengths for this, his critical improvement areas. And then he can choose, does he want this one, or this one for his header? Right now he just has civil engineer, right? So this is visionary leader in structural engineering, shaping future landscape, innovative project manager specialized in structural engineering. So we'll pick this one, right? And then it gives him a compelling summary rewrite. As a passive structural engineer over the past 4 years, I specialize in delivering, right? And it tells you why it works. And then his old description at THP and then a new description at THP, which is a better description of what he does, why he does it. So when somebody looks at him, and then in skills endorsement strategy, we got project management, structural engineer. These are the top skills for his industry. And then also a skills optimization plan, fill skill gaps that he should use, endorsement growth blueprint, right? How to reach out to clients, get endorsements, reciprocate, and then LinkedIn photo banner and banner best practices, professional headshot, face visibility, solo shot. So all that's there.
Wow,
Once
way better,
done,
Tom.
what?
That's way better. The only thing I would add real quick is when you go and copy and paste their LinkedIn, have an option to attach their resume, current resume. So if they're like a salesperson, it will pull the numbers, President's Club, if they don't have it on their LinkedIn.
Bad idea. I'll have to look at that and see what it'll do. but real quick, so you can copy it to clipboard, right? And it copies the one you chose right here, okay? And then so if you come to, oops, get a Word document open, do this. So I'll do my Linkify thing here. So there's the everything in there. So he can then copy and paste this right into his LinkedIn if he wants, right? Or, and this is not as, I'm having issues with this, but like this is download the PDF, right? And then you name it, you know, whatever that guy's name was, hit save. And then when we open it, this is what it looks like. I'm not super happy with this, but it is what it is for right now. But it's everything that was in that same thing. Whatever headline he chose this. So here's his headline. He can still copy it. So that's kind of where we are, right? So I'm getting ready to roll this out and add it to the website, and it's going to be $50 for this to do. We went back and forth on pricing. It's just going to be $50 for this, and then we're going to do. I'm writing a new prompt for the calendar engagement calendar part as well, and that's kind of where we are. I don't think I had. What was the other one? I tried it with what was that other one you gave me? Cortex. Cortex really didn't do
It's on a call.
stuff with the app as best that I thought. I couldn't get it to let me test the app, right? It kept getting stuck, so I didn't really get where I wanted to with Cortex. So I'm not super impressed with Cortex yet. And that's kind of where we are with Linkify Me. Linkify.me is where we are right now, and hopefully we'll have the website up within the next 2 weeks. The new one, this one, we'll have up.
When they go
Ready
through
to go.
and fill that out, are you collecting that on the back end? Like who's doing it? Apply?
Pardon me?
Are you collecting the data? Like
Nope. It even
to
says
check
all
out.
your data is no data is collected or kept or anything like that. But they do have to pay, and we do get that information, right?
Okay.
So when if you decide to do the full
Check out
$1
Supabase.
What? Pardon me?
Supabase. SUPPA base.
What's that?
Throw it in. It's just like a. Let me see what they call it.
Open source Firebase alternative.
Yeah, I've been playing around with Cursor AI, which is insane.
I don't know what Firebase. I don't know what do you use it for, bro?
Storage.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So right now, and everybody wants to know, like we have an API. We're using ChatGPT 4.0, and all those settings, certain parameters on stuff like that, right? So we realize it's very difficult to set in actually going to Anthropic or going to OpenAI and setting the heat and everything. But actually, what was really cool is that Replit can do it for you behind the scenes. So I kept asking Replit, like, okay, this is the heat that I want. This is the top K that I want. This is the, you know, the token that I want. It was able to just all that. I was the input that I was getting, or the output that I was getting, we first looked at was horrible to do, and we're doing pipeline and my state with and actually I thought that 3.7 was going to be the best, and it wasn't, because I like the way it writes. You can't get over some of the creativity heats on it. So GPT 4.0 is actually coming out, and cost wise, it's each one of those cost me about 3 cents, 4 cents to run it. So if we can sell them for $50, the idea is just to set it and forget it and market it out there. So if I get 100 people, 200 people to come to it a month and get their, optimize their LinkedIn profile or whatever, then we're making some passive income. I'm hoping that's kind of the idea that's going to happen. I'm also afraid, or somebody's going to come along and do a way better job at it than me because I'm not a prompt engineer. So that's kind of where we are with that.
You know what? Here's the thing, though. If nothing else, you're like thinking, you're creating something, and it's like I think that as humans, we need to continue to evolve and learn shit, and like you're doing that, and it might like give you an idea in a month and be like, "Fuck, I'm going to do this with my business."
Yeah, well, I am making one for my daughter, a dating app that you can log every date you go on and all the stuff about the dates, so you can compare the dates. She did it in a spreadsheet, so I'm helping her build an app with that. And I bought dinosaurs.kids, and I'm going to make a website. This is down the road where people can come, kids can go on, learn about dinosaurs, but also color the dinosaurs on it, and then send them their coloring to grandma and grandpa, or they can download the coloring sheets to color at home, or send them to their iPad to color with their iPad. That's another stuff. That, with ADHD, man, I'm all over the fucking place.
I like it. I like it.
And there was something else. I just wrote a 25 best practices for LinkedIn, for your profile and for your LinkedIn page, and I'm gonna throw it up on LinkedIn as well. It's kind of like a pseudo advertisement for Linktify.me. And I got 5 interviews going on right now, and I made 3 deals in the last month. So
nice.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
And I can't sleep.
I think you hit the nail on the head, though, Brent. I think the key for us, as well as for the future, is the ability to learn. The ability, just staying sharp and having that ability to learn, and trial and error and experiment, because you'll be able to come up with a great configuration. Anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you. I've got to head out now. So nice speaking with you all.
And nice meeting you, Greg. I came in late, so hopefully I'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Yeah. So
Oh, shoot.
remember Friday. Friday's open. In fact, I'll put it up today. Friday's meeting's open discussion since it's the last Friday of the month.
Cool. Thanks. All right, I got to bounce.
When do you do the Loxo Jobin?
On that.
Third Thursday of every month. Third Thursday of every month is the Loxo Jobin meeting. If you need help with Loxo or Jobin, come on the Tuesday meeting and I'll help you. Just let me know. Like if you want to talk about Loxo or Jobin on the Tuesday meeting, or you want to book time with me, you're a friend, so I'll book time with you for free. Let me know and I can help you set up Jobin or Loxo or whatever you need if I can do it. Like most of the stuff I know, but if you need help, just let me know.
Yeah, no, so here's my thing. I went away from Jobin just because the UI was frustrating me. And then I got I got something from LinkedIn saying, "Hey, we know you're automating shit." So I was like, "Oh fuck, I bet it was Jobin." It might not have been. But I just went back to Jobin because I don't like Loxo's search at all. And I'm thinking about doing I'm going to see if Jobin works, and it should, just do sales nav, do that system. And then what I'll do is
like Loxo search. What do you mean?
Fuck, when I put a search in Loxo, it doesn't refine it at all. Like let's say if I put in Java software engineer, I'd get like a systems admin or something. And it's just like, okay, how did you get this?
So here, are you doing this, right? So you're talking about Loxo source, right?
Yeah.
So change it to strip. So like what's your title?
Well, let's say, shit, it's been a while, but let's say like a software engineer and Java, I'm trying to think of the specific ones, but I've put things in and I went strict and it didn't produce any results. And I was just like, wait a second, there's got to be people. So
yeah, so let's give me one that you think a little bit of information. Let's look at it and then compare it to Navigator and kind of go from there. So Java and
Let's go. Okay, let's go large scale distributed systems.
Large scale distributors. What the fuck is that, bro?
Large scale distributed systems is how they architect software for the cloud.
Okay, so let's go strict. Let's go in location.
Let's go US. Just
on strict large scale, I got 5,570, and I did large scale in Java. And what was the other word?
No, it's good. If large scale distributed systems and Java would be good.
So that's large Java and large scale and distrib. So that's going to be distributed or distribution or whatever, right? So that gave us 2,300. How many years ago? This is on strict. If I go to smart, right, it's going to give me alternate titles to software engineer. So it's going to jump us up to 95, 9.5, right? So let's go back to strict for a second and then say, okay, what industry or years of experience or anything like that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We can just do that. Just
Right, so that's 2.3. That's 2,000. That's too many. How would you like? We can get a degree.
Well, if that's the case, we could, let's say Seattle instead of the U.S. We could say Seattle.
$412 strict. That's state of Washington. 1.5 thousand smart. Let's drop it down to Seattle. See Greater Seattle. And smart, we got 1.5. In strict, we got. Let me drop this down to 10 miles. 337. So if we do the same search, right? We're going to do the same search in Navigator. So we're going to do current job title, software engineer. We're going to do Java and
Large scale distributed systems.
yeah, they don't work off the one I was doing. So that's 2,800. So we want the location. Geography is Seattle. Oops. Greater Seattle. 25 large scale and distributor.
Distributed.
Distributed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 1,000. And that's gonna, and so here's the thing, right? So, oops. So, one of the things that Navigator is going to do is it's going to give you software development engineer, software engineer coach. So it's going to be a little more on this, right? So the strict. So if we go to smart, we're probably in the same ballpark, right? What? 1.2 and 1,000 plus. So probably very similar.
Yeah.
Because you can't use the asterisk thing to give you like distributed, distributing, distributor, right? So that's why I did that. Loxo does that in the Boolean. Sales Navigator doesn't. So software engineer, Greater Seattle, 1,000 plus, and then there's your whatever. So now if you had Jobin, right, you can now scrape all these people with Jobin and send them all a connection request. right? And then add all them to two ways. You could scrape them all the one. Let's go to strict, right? Because you're doing software engineer. Let's drop this down to a more manageable list, right? We have 337. Let's say we want people who graduated in the last 5 to 10 years, right? And what's that give us? 158. That's 158. That's a good list. You have guys with 5 to 10 years experience. They're all software engineers. They're in Seattle, or Apple, Amazon, whatever, right? So then you take this button here, grab all 51, go to the next page, grab all 51, go to the next page, grab all 51, right? So you have your 158. Go into Jobin, set a connection request automation with a little message. Hey, Bryant, this is Brent. I'm a headhunter. I'm wonderful and great. Got a position in Seattle that's wonderful and great too. Alexa, turn off my timer. Would you want to have a conversation, right? Send that out. It'll take 4 or 5 days to run through Jobin. Then download the CSV. While that's running, download the CSV from Jobin, upload that into Loxo. So that way you're not limited to how many you can export if you need to, since you didn't get them from source, right? Because you're circumventing source. Alexa, turn off my timer. And then put them into Loxo and start your campaign, your calling or whatever with, hey, this is Brent. I sent you a connection request 2 days ago. Why didn't you respond, motherfucker? Let's talk. And you're done. So one of the things I will tell you is, and I don't know what you were doing when you did your search, but Loxo's gotten better. Their sourcing has gotten significantly better, but you have to understand, this strict versus smart, current versus past. Like, there's little things that people forget to do that screws up their things. But what I do like about Loxo is also I could put in their degree, which is really good for me. I can't do that in Navigator. So I used to say Loxo's source was eh. Now it's gotten significantly better, and it keeps getting better as they keep adding money and updating their database. So
Okay.
I would start doing searches again, comparing them to Navigator and seeing what you're getting if you have Navigator or Recruiter or whatever. Because that's been a game changer for me, and that's why I said if I was poor tomorrow, all I would need would be Navigator, Jobin, or Loxo and Jobin. Those three right there, I could run my business with just that.
Yeah. So how do you get them from Loxo to Jobin?
I just showed you, bro. Watch.
Is it 25 at a time, or can you do all of them?
It's 50 at a time.
Oh, 50. Okay.
Yeah, because here's Jobin's auto importer extension. Anytime there is a LinkedIn URL on the page, it will grab it. I don't care what page you're on. So if I do this, I'll do it for you real quick, right? So if I do this for you, right? There's these 50 guys, right? And there's going to be 51 because there's a guy behind here that I was messing with when I opened this up, right? So it sees both pages, right? So I'm going to hit import all. Here's the problem, right? I'll show you how many are imported, right? Here's the problem. You cannot tag them. So this is what I tell everybody. If you're going to do this first thing in the morning, so then you can do this. And they're not going to load. It's going to take a little while to load, I think, but you'll get an idea what I'm talking about now. So, come on. So if I go to synchronize, thank you. If I go to contacts, right, one of the things you can search by is insertion date, right? Since we can't tag them like we can on Navigator when we do a search, we have to do it by insertion date, right? So we're going to clear this. So reset. We're going to go to all filters, and then we're going to come down here to insertion date, and you want insertion date not updated and only today. Hit apply, right? So these people right here, like this guy accepted their connection requests, so that's why they're in there. But this is your guy right here, right? So these are all your guys. These 1, 2, 3, these 6. And it's going to keep doing that, right? So if I delete, and then I can tag them. Whoops, let me drop this up here. I can do an assign a tag to these right here called Brent test. And then create that and accept. And now we're done. Now, see, it already jumped to 14, right? So as long as I like these three guys here, I don't know how to get rid of them, but if I come down here to all these, right? So this guy's here, and this guy here, this guy here. So now I got, and this guy here, and then I tag them, right? So what you would do is you would do this first thing in the morning, right? And then that way you would have these guys eventually you tag. Now it's already jumped up to 18. I'll research it again. It's 19. It's going to get to 50 something, right? But those are all the people, right, that were from that list. So now, once these are tagged, right, you go to your tags, you go to print, test, hit accept. It shows me my 11, and then I do, a connection invitation with a little message. Hi, my name is Brent. I'm a headhunter. I got a software engineering position pays $1 million in Seattle. Are you open to having a conversation? And if you want to, I don't like doing a follow-up message, but you can do a follow-up message when they accept. But I'll do that. And then when that's done, I'll wait 24 hours. Whoever accepts, that's the first person I call. If they send me a message saying they're interested, that's actually the first person I call. The ones who accept below them, I call. The ones that are still outstanding, I give I'll send them an email after 24 to 48 hours, and then I'll call them. So in my mind, those 50 whatever people are going to get touched 3 times. Connection request, phone call, and email.
Okay, because what I started to do is just I went away from Loxo to the source because I couldn't do the LinkedIn as well, but now I see that I could. But with the sales nav and Jobin, like I do your process of grabbing, say, 250 candidates in sales nav, and then send the connection request, download that, put that in my long list in Loxo, and then the people that connect, move them over, and that's
the same thing. I mean, you can do it from Jobin, Loxo's sourcing platform and Navigator. Like there's no and here's the thing, right? If you do it in Navigator, right, and in Loxo, and put them both into Jobin, it'll merge the duplicates. And even if it doesn't, when you put the CSV from Jobin into Loxo, it'll merge the duplicates as long as they all have LinkedIn URLs. So even if you get doubles, you don't have to worry about it. It'll allow you to make sure you get everybody. Maybe Jobin missed some people, or I'm sorry, maybe Loxo missed some people. Should I go make a phone call? Or maybe Navigator missed some people. So between the two, you're set. And I truly believe, like, if we start doing, if I did a really small, how do we narrow this down? Like entry level, 302, industry, real estate, right? So that gives us, one. So if we do this, so software engineer, Seattle, real estate, let's see what it does in Loxo, right? So software, let's get rid of that. Industry, real estate. And let's do smart. So what was that chick's name? Vander Iyer at Eladell. Real estate, Greater Seattle, software engineer, large scale distributed. So let's go back to Loxo and look for Vandana. So maybe let's do this. Oops, 100 pumps. No, see, and they didn't find Vandana. So see what I mean when you let's go and look. You can do, I think, first name here in Loxo, right? Or company. Let's get rid of real estate and do company. Vandana. VAND. Is that what it was called? Oh no.
That's your name.
Yeah. ALE Dade. ALE Dade. ALEDAD. Is that one?
Yeah.
So that's weird. ALPDAD. Maybe it's that one. Nope. What's her name again?
Vandana, I think.
Computer science degree. Currently at Aladade. Are you kidding me? I wonder if what's her name again? Bandana.
You know what? She's in Baltimore.
Is she?
Yes. Yeah, I think her company's in Seattle. I think that's what it was. I think that's
Iyer. Bandana Iyer.
there she is.
There she is. Okay, so why didn't she pop up? Software engineer, Greater Seattle. Oh, she's at Compass. That's why.
No, they've got old data on her
Yep.
because she was at Compass before.
Yeah, see, it's 5 months, right? So that's some of the times that the issues are is that it's not that updated. But I had a call at 1:35 that I'm 10 minutes behind. So I got to go, guys.
Hey,
See ya.
Tom, thanks a lot.
You got it.
You have a good one. Ipsa,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? I just messaged you over LinkedIn.
Right on. I'll take a look at that and then I will yeah, respond and we can chat.
Yeah, that's great. I'll be waiting.
Okay. All right. Take care.
You too. Bye, Brent.
Bye bye.